And we turn now to a story about changing age-old farming practices in the tropics. It's part of the Economist Film Project, a NewsHour collaboration with The Economist magazine. Together, we showcase independently produced documentaries that take us places we don't ordinarily go. Here's an excerpt from Up in Smoke by filmmaker Adam Wakeling. He followed ecologist Michael Hands as he introduced Honduran farmers to the Inga Tree, his solution to the problems caused by so-called slash and burn agriculture.
We start the fire there. Okay, this is why we burn. The weeds and the trunks are thick. And we can't plant amongst all of that. So we just burn it all. I know this destroys the soils. The fertility disappears. I know this. But there's no other way to eat. Do you understand?
You're looking at a slowly enacted catastrophe. To put it in context, it's in the order of a few 100 million families worldwide. 1 billion tons of carbon straight up into the atmosphere annually.
Fire it now.
In Honduras, talking to slash and burn farmers, both down in the valley and up in the mountain slopes, I found that things were not very simple. They weren't as simple as they appeared, because what they want is access to fresh forest every year for a fresh burn to guarantee a crop of maize and then to move on the following year.
The rains come and they wash away the soils. So we just clear more forest further up. Do you see? There's no other options for us. So we burn 2 hectares this year, then another 2 the next, for maize or for beans. We plant wherever we can.
You've got to learn from what the forest is doing. It's the most sustainable, most productive ecosystem on the planet. You have got to listen to it. We cracked a problem. We bloody cracked it. You're seeing a cropping system which takes place between rows of trees. The system is called alley cropping because the rows resemble alleyways. Rows of trees are planted close together in what was a grass-dominated site. And the trees have grown and have now completely shaded out all of the grass. At the appropriate time, they will be pruned down to about the height of one's chest. And the mulch, the green material from the leaves, will be placed on the ground as a physical protection and as slowly decomposing green manure. Once the light has been let in and the ground is covered with mulch, the crop can be sown. It's got enough strength to come up through the cover of mulch, which will largely be suppressing all the regrowth of weeds. During the course of the growth of the crop, the trees will regrow. There'll be a little bit of light pruning of the regrowth to control the shade. At the point of cropping, the trees are regenerating. They'll recover the canopy and they'll be available for pruning and cropping the following year. What Inga particularly appears capable of doing is to at least retrieve, retain, and recycle the key nutrients. It has to be demonstrated. You cannot preach it, you can't describe it. People have got to be able to get their hands on it and see it. Secondly, you've got to test a system that was developed by an academic to see whether it has any meaning at all for real people.
When the forest disappears, the temperature rises and the plants suffer more. The more we weed and burn, the worse things get. One advantage of this system is that you can grow organic crops, completely healthy food.
What do you think so far?
Seriously surprising.
Surprising? How so?
The Inga.
Really? What do you mean?
Well, the roots hold onto the soil, so it doesn't wash away. And you've seen just how steep our land is.
The task we have, which is capturing hearts and minds, is crucial. It's fundamental. What's going on in Aladino's mind? He's going to take some time to change that.
We're trying to keep people on one plot of land and not keep moving on. Farmer to farmer, it's easier to explain. That's how the message spreads. All those mountains used to grow onions, and maize, bananas, even rice. But when the soils failed, people abandoned them and just moved up there into fresh forest. If we'd had this system then, we wouldn't be lacking water or forests now.
This is going to be done family by family, people like Aladino, one at a time. It's got to work. It's going to work. It's going to take whatever it takes to make it work.